Well, continuing our midweek affair as we approach the weekend. On Thursday, we are at the Vaal where we're racing on the classic track. 9 races carded, with the first of 9 being off at 12:15. We're going to be focusing from races 2 to 9, which make up our major exotics. That is your bypass, your PA, your pick six, and the 2 jackpots. Race number 1, by the way, is a work riders event. Very, very competitive affair indeed. But let's get straight to that second, and also lots of form updates to keep you abreast of. But the betting has the 13, The Reason, one of those with an outstanding form update. 11 to 8, the favorite. Number 6, Bridget Ann, 7 to 2. Number 5, Lanteris at 15 to 4. 8 to 1, the 1, Falcon Fly. Stable debut for Falcon Fly, it is 12 to 1 and better bar those. Right, the form update, and a very pertinent one, is with the 13, The Reason. Last seen running on the 30th of December. Beaten by a good thing on the day. It was a market rival but had more experience, and that was the Delaware River. Finished second. 2.70 length behind the Stu Pettigrew runner. Hence your favorite, 11 to 8, Muzieni retains the right. But before we go any further, let's introduce our analyst. And it is, of course, the one and only Daryl Marie. Daryl, very good morning, and great to catch up with you. It's so early in the year. Wish you all the very best, and may the winners continue to roll in.
Good morning, Sis, and morning to the viewers. Compliments of the season to yourself and to everyone who supports the show. Thank you very much for the support. Let's hope it's a cracking year. I do believe we got a rerun for race 2, Sis, and
Indeed.
that's the rerun.
Yes, it is playing out, Daryl, so if you want to take it up.
Yeah, so you can see in the circle over there is the reason, and on this occasion she ran second to Delaware River, a convincing winner. She does finish well clear of the balance of the field. I thought this was a good enough effort because the winner on that occasion did have the right form going into that event, and on this occasion she's got the right form, because she does hold her biggest rival in Bridget Ann on the run beyond Hat's Highway to the Sky. Plus, she's had a run since then, so she's probably more racing fit too. She's got the draw to boot. She does see out the trip, whereas Bridget Ann is trying it for the first time. So I'm going into the first leg of the bipod very, very confident in banking number 13, The Reason. I'll be very disappointed if she doesn't finish in the top 2. I do have a bit of respect for Lanteri, number 5. Unfortunately, she's cracked a wide draw. One has to take note that this race is run around the bend. However, her form line of her last start is extremely strong. Her penultimate start, when running third behind a Hazy Daisy, looks quite good on paper, but just take note that number 7, Amaze Me, was just behind her. So if you are playing trifectas and quartets, I'd include number 7. But like I said, Cess, we're opening up this year with a banker number 13 in the bipod.
Well, let's hope it's a lucky 13 to open up the bipod for the Vaal meeting on a Thursday. We are on the classic track, a maiden plate for fillies and mares over the 1450. Do take note of the scratchings, numbers 4, Delaware River, and the 8, Total Eruption. 1250, 10 minutes to 1 is the off time to race 2. Right, so we have a positive start in the bipod with the banker. We have a banker in that second leg of the bipod, which is race 3, which sees the last start of our PA. Now, form updates galore, and let's get straight to them. The 3, Lancelot, last time out, that was on the first day of the new year. Finished 5th, and that was 7.10 length behind Jaffa. In the same race was a 5, Royale Jacket. That finished 2nd, 3.5 lengths behind Jaffa. And then we've got the 15, Jabberwocky, who's now a runner. And it's, please note, Blaine Marks Jacobson, who picks up the ride there. Finished 5th, 7.80 lengths behind the Trombolines in a race that was contested over the 1,400 meters. Go, Johnny, go. The 9 is your favorite at 13 to 8, 5 to 2, the 4. And that is a Shore Bomber. The 3, Lancelot, is the 13 to 2, the 7 to 1, the 8, Errol Flynn, 10 to 1, and a better bar those. So 5 to 2 is a Shore Bomber, and that will be the topic of our rerun, and of course the Daryl's thoughts behind the chances of the 4, Shore Bomber. Let's cross over to Daryl and Sir.
Yes, you can see over there at a crucial stage of the race, he was taken up and he lost all his momentum. Now, out in front is Lancelot, and on paper, he clearly holds Shory Bomber, but you need to take into account what happened to this horse going through the 300. So I'm of the opinion that he is going to reverse the form with Lancelot, number 3. You touched on the form updates. And if you like Lancelot, you have to respect Royal's jacket because he beat Lancelot in their last start. But I am very, very impressed with Shory Bomber to date. I think he is a very nice horse. I do believe we're only going to see the best of him once he gets up to 1800. If I'm not mistaken, his dam did stay. But I think from a neat draw, this time round, Gavin takes the ride. If he just gets a clear passage, I expect him to reverse the form with Lancelot on his latest encounter and reverse the form with Go Johnny Go number 10, because they've met in the past and there was not much separating the two of them. Cecil, I do have a comment. Now, De Kock Racing updates their website, and I went onto the website, and this is the comment for Go Johnny Go number 9. He is a naughty horse, quite difficult to work with. He'll need gelding, but he ran a good second last time out. Gets another chance, and he has the ability to win. His behavior on the day is a factor, and this always lingers in the back of my mind because we have interviewed the yard prior on Track Talk, and they have clearly stated he's not a straightforward sort. So now he gets fitted with cheek pieces. I'm a little bit concerned. I think Shory Bomber, with that extra run under his belt and taking into consideration what happened to him last time out, I'm going to be leaning towards Shory Bomber as the likely winner, and definitely a place accumulator banker and worth a few rand. I wouldn't be surprised to see him start favorite or bookmaker favorite race time.
Okay, currently at 5-2 is Shory Bomber. That is number 4. That is the amount of Gavin Arena teaming up with the James Crawford Stable. And we've got a banker at the back of that PA, and that will be race 9, number 3, Never Neverland. 240 Rand is the outlay, and please take note of the off time to race 3, 1. Happy to report that a rarity comes about in race 4. There are no form updates outstanding from recent runs over the busy Christmas period. There's a racing 240 maiden plate. They're going over the 1800 meters. And as far as the changes are concerned, we've got the scratching of the 13 Jaffa, a recent maiden winner, and the 9 Tunsil will now be a chance rider for James at De Harbour. Was quite to be partnered by Mr. Chase Mojani. He will be taking part in proceedings, with the exception of his original engagement on the 9 at Tunsil. Now, looking at the Betway market, and the 1 Naratoy or Naratois, the 3 is at 3-1. Co-favored with the 15 War Talk, who's also at 3-1. It's a 15-4, and that is at the 8 Emerald City. 5-1, the 14 Special Al. It's 13-2 and a better bar those. So we're going to hand over to Daryl as we look at the latest rerun, and that will concern the 1 in Naratoy, and that was on the 4th of December.
Yes, this was a nice run. I mean, he was staying on behind his stable companion. He was soundly beaten on this occasion. Just towards his inside in the pink silks over there is a horse called Heroic Act. And he's had several chances, but you can see he was staying on second best of the balance. And his stable companion has since run then and ran a very, very encouraging third behind Texas Missile. So let's see how he goes. He did cost a few rand. I mean, he cost R1,000,000, and he's had 9 starts to date. He's yet to win, so he's clearly very limited, but he can certainly win a race of this nature. Number 8, Emerald City. Now, strictly on paper, one's going to say his form lines are weaker, but on a line through Asia's Tiara and Heroic Act and Texas Missile, he's not much. There's not much separating himself and Naratois, so I've included him. He comes back in trip, and Ryan Manga now takes the ride. Number 14, Special L. Once again, I got a comment from the yard, and this you need to take note of. They quote, Never got going in a 1160 race on debut. We're bumping him up to 1800 meters. The form of that race has actually worked out really well, so we give him a good each way chance. So they're expecting a lot of improvement from number 14 Special Owl, and I had a look at his breeding and his siblings. His half brother by Canford Cliffs, 1/2400. His half brother by What a Winter, 1/a mile, and his half sister by Vercingetorix, 1/a mile. Clearly, they're expecting a lot of improvements, and that form line we need to touch on. I mean, there have been several winners from there. Rock Around the Clock won again, Sakura Anami, Continental King, Oklahoma Roadshow. So I've included him in all my play. And then number 15, the filly is only set to carry 54.5. You can see as they've upped her in trip, she's finally getting the hang of things, and she's getting there slowly. With that sex allowance and a neat draw, I wouldn't be shocked to see her feature. Four horses in the opening leg of the pick six. I hope we get through. I've left out numbers 7, 9, and 12. So if you are a viewer that wants to go a little bit wide in the opening leg, perhaps look at those numbers. But I've gone 1, 8, 14, and 15.
Comprehensive breakdown of race number 4, and thanks very much for the comments from Mike de Kock. And just to confirm that the 15 War Talk, whilst it looks like it was due to run on the 1st of Jan, would have been a scratching. There is no form update outstanding. 1, 8, 14, and 15, and that is the start of the Pixels Race 4. Narutoy was the horse that we discussed, and that is your current co-favorite with the 15 War Talk. As we now move on to the first leg of the first jackpot, just to confirm, a scratching that has just recently come through goes back to race 2, the first leg of the bipod. The 7, Amaze Me, is now an additional scratching, so that would leave us with numbers 4, 7, and 8 scratched in race number 2. Right, in race number 5, the scratchings are the 2 Kudzu and the stable companion number 8, Saragossa Cat. Now, as far as the betting is concerned, number 9, that is your current, in fact, we've gone one race ahead, I do believe. We should be looking at Gerbera in race number 5. That is the horse that we're going to be discussing. And just looking at the betting, Gerbera is one of your favorites at 19 to 10. In fact, clear favorite now. Read all about it. The 6 is at 9 to 4, 5 to 2 is a 7 Copper Eagle. So my apologies, race 5. It is Gerbera, the 19 to 10 favorite. That is number 5. Talking about the favorite, Daryl, we're going to have a look at that last run in a listed War of Athena, when a third to Charge It, who had run a cracker in the Fillies Mile on Summer Cup Day. And Charge It gave enough hint that it was ready to win a race like this, and did so emphatically. We're going to run the replay, and we'll hand over to you.
A very, very nice effort on this occasion. She was ridden by Richard Fourie, and you can see staying on beautifully throughout the running of that race. It says, I've been slightly disappointed with her. I've expected a lot more from her. She's got quite a frame to fill out, so maybe she's getting the hang of things now. She's really strengthened up, and we're going to see the best of her as a 4-year-old. But in saying that, she hasn't visited their winner's enclosure in quite some time. It's just on a year. If you go to the best weighted column, you can certainly see that this is the right race for her. She's only a kilogram worse off with Copper Eagle. However, they have met in the past. And if you go back in her form line when she ran 4th behind Chronicle King, in that very same race was Copper Eagle, number 7, and she beat him, convincingly, but just on 4 lengths, and she's only half a kilogram worse off. So strictly on paper, one's going to say that Gerbera's this is her time to shine, and she should go very close to winning. Copper Eagle, on the other hand, ran a beautiful race last time out in the Dingans. I mean, that was a cracking effort. We know that Robin Claassen has always rated him from day one, so she must have been over the moon that he finally delivered what she knows he's capable of. Interesting that they are fitting him with a set of blinkers for the first time. And we have to take note that he is best in over here. He did pick up quite a penalty for that 5th. I mean, his rating increased from a 91 to a 103. but he's a lovely sort and I can see him winning. Now, horse strictly on paper, you're going to say can't win is Tenjiku. Now, I mean, he's well held by Copper Eagle and he's worse off at the weights. But I just believe that this horse, without any headgear, is at his best. And if you go and check the car changes, the blinkers have been removed from Tenjiku. And I think that is going to spring a bit of life back into his form. I believe he's way better than his recent efforts. He is now peaking. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him feature or deliver a more consistent run this time around without the headgear. So I've gone in order. I have to respect Jobra. I'm going 5, 7, 4, and then read all about it. I just want to touch on the De Kock Racing's comment. He comes back to 1800, which is not ideal because he is a horse looking for further, but there are not many options at present. He is competitive and in good form, so we'll fight it out, though it is a tough race. And you can see I haven't bridged, I've included him in my jackpot. So all of 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Okay, thank you very much. 2 and 8 scratched, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is the opening leg of the first jackpot, and then we've got 9, 11 coming up in leg number 2. That'll be coming up shortly. 512 Rand, and the off time to race 5 is 14:35. We still focus on our Thursday meeting on the classic track of the Vaal. It's a 9-race program, and that means race number 6, which is up next on the agenda, will be the start of the second and final jackpot. Now, giving you the one form update, and that would be the 5. It's Her Way. That is from the Robin Clarkson stable. Finished in 9th, and that was 13.75 lengths behind DeMarco's Jet. And that been nibbled at from 16 to 1 to 10 to 1. So that's a 5. It's Her Way. For Bakwena, on the other hand, it looks to have an outstanding form update, was in fact a scratching. So we do have the 12 runners to stand their ground. Looking at the betting, it is number 9, a Little Miss Million, who is at 3 to 2. Number 3, Except Cookies, 4 to 1. 11 to 2 is a 4 Bakwena, and then it is 10 to 1 and better bar those. Now, Hazy Daisy is a name that's come up quite a bit already today, and we're going to go to Hazy Daisy's victory in that Phillies mile, which produced a charge it, and that is the 9, a Little Miss Million, who was actually in the same race, and that was coming off a break. So let's take up Little Miss Million's return effort, and Daryl will tell us exactly what impressed him in those familiar colours of Kevin and Nadine Bacchus.
Yes, as you can see, she had the opportunity to come out on that occasion, yet she went in. It didn't look like she was doing much at this stage. But once she weaves a passage over here, you'll see her turn of foot in the latter stages is what catches the eye. I mean, she really took off. Watch her effort now. Certainly doing her best work at the end. And the form line of that race has stood up extremely well. We obviously saw Charge It win the War of Athena listed handicap. We saw Merryweather win from there. We saw Drumna Drocket win from there. And the horses who ran last and second last have also won from that form line. I think this is a fantastic opportunity for her to bounce back to winning ways. I mean, she's only set to carry 53 from a neat draw. She's won over this course and distance. I'm really, really keen to see how she goes. I think she could be better than her current mark because Charge It is rated a 104 currently, and I don't think she's too far behind Charge It. I have backed her up with quite a roughie of year, and this filly's let me down on numerous occasions in the past. Number 11, Warning Sound. I think she was a little bit too handy last time out. And if you go back to her penultimate start behind Boom Boom, I know there's 2 fillies that hold her. However, she meets them on much better weight terms this time around. If I'm not mistaken, she's 4 kilograms better off with Boom Boom and 2 kilograms better off with Except Cookies. I'm sure the instructions this time around will be to give her a chance or get her some cover. And I'm expecting her to really feature off off her current mark of 85. I mean, she's only set to carry 51, and she is a 4-year-old. I think now's the time for her to start shining, because I know she's got the ability, but she's not quite producing it on the track itself. So I have gone light in this lead. The race doesn't end there, but I had to take my chances because of the cost of my perms. For viewers who want to go a bit wider, numbers 3, Accept Cookies, and number 10, Lady Sabrina, are my third and fourth choices.
So you've washed your hands off Bokwena then, have you, Mr. Marie?
I'll give her a chance, but I think she likes to be ridden cold. So from that tricky draw, I think they got their hands tied, and she'll be coming with a late rattle. I'm hoping the lighter weights can fend her off.
Thank you so much, Daryl. 9 and 11 in that first leg of Jackpot 2. And then we've got that banker at the back. That is the Never Never Land number 3 in race 9. Off time to race 6 is 15:15. Right, we get into a last chance to get involved in the pick threes at the Vaal on a Thursday. And of course, you'll have to do without the 1 Alta Capitana and the 5 Top Shelf Teddy. 1 and 5 both out. So that leaves us a field of 8. And the form update concerns the 6 Amazon Queen. And that was a roughie at 25-1 and ran accordingly, finished 5th. And that was 9 lengths behind El Gringa. That is the 6 Amazon Queen form update. 5th, 9.0 length behind El Gringa over a distance of 1,400 meters. This is a fillies and mares 74 divided handicap. And just before we head over to Daryl, the top ones in the betting, you've got Special Star number 4 at 15-8. Number 2, Sigrid Swing is at 4-1, bracketed at 4-1. With the number 8 Opera Fan. And then you've got the 7 Pretty Analia at 9-2, 7-1. The 3 Scarlet Heart, 15-2, and a Better Bar those. Special Star, a 3-year-old daughter of Danon Platina, recently won its maiden. When I say recently, comes off a bit of a break after winning that maiden at the third time of asking. Matthew and Mike de Kock send out, and it is Callan Murray who gets back aboard with the maiden. It was Craig Zaki aboard for that victory. Now we're going to go back to that maiden victory, which was on the 6th of September. And we will hand over to Daryl to take it away. And again, he's pointing out things we overlook when we look at the races in real time.
It was lovely to see her get it right on this occasion. I mean, we all know she's extremely well related. She's a half sister to the champion filly, Gimme Another. The filly who she beat on the inside has since then relocated to Fairview and is yet to win a maiden. And the third place filly actually contests this very same race. And that is number 6, Amazon Queen. Now, sis, if you are in the camp of Special Star, my suggestion is to back a race time, because once reading out these comments, this filly will drift off the boards and you'll get a better price come race time. They are quoted saying, Special Star will need the run after the rest. She's a big girl and quite lazy at home. This run will bring her on. She's one to keep an eye on in future. So there's no confidence coming from the yard. In saying that, she is making her handicap debut. She's extremely well bred. She could prove better than the current mark, but she's clearly lacking fitness. So perhaps Thursday at the Vaal is not going to be her day. I'm not writing her off. I've got the entire field, or the majority of here, in my perms. Now, number 8, Opera Fan. She never got in the hunt last time out. I'd like to see her ridden more closer to the pace, if not lead. We've seen her go start to finish in the past when she won a maiden. I think she will run better this time round. You've also got the likes of Pretty Analia. I don't think she's a 2,000 meter mare. I like the fact that she's coming back in trip. Now, if you go back in her form line to Sheets and Goggles, you'll see that she's quite close to Sigrid Swing. And she's 4.5 kilograms better off for 3/4 of a length beating. So on paper, she's going to go very close to reversing the form with Sigrid Swing. Let's touch on Sigrid Swing. She disappointed last time out. It wasn't quite her honest effort, as we know her for. In her penultimate start, she and the winner, Lady Blunt, dominated the finish on that occasion. Gavin knows what she's about now. He's ridden her in a race, so she's going to be given a chance in running on in the latter stages. If they go hard up front, it will certainly suit her. Number 3, Scarlet Heart, also from the Fani Broncos yard. She's another one of Fani's who comes back in trip, and you can see she actually won her maiden over a mile, and she's done extremely well over a mile. So with Muzi Yeni from a neat draw, I've certainly included her, and I take her chances very seriously over here. So I'm probably going to be leaning towards Scarlet Heart as the likely winner, but this race is very, very tricky.
2, 3, 4, 7, and 8. Those are the suggested 5 numbers for that exacta box, and hopefully you get the favorable one for your outcomes in that exacta race number 7. Again, just a reminder that you can use those same numbers for the first leg of the last pick 3 off at 10 minutes to 4. It's over the mile, and it's the Fillies and Mares 74. Okay, so it is the second last that we're now going to focus our attentions on. It is race number 8 for hospitality bookings. Call 01168111796. It's a Fillies and Mares 82 handicap, and we dropped down to a 1450. I'm happy to report that there are no scratchings. And as far as the 2, Mountain High, is concerned, it was due to run on the 1st of Jan. There is no form update that is currently outstanding. Now, as far as the betting is concerned, quite a competitive little race is race number 8. Number 6, Lady Blunt, whose name has already been brought up, is at 15 to 4. The 7, Vamanos, is at 4 to 1. Bracketed at 4 to 1 with the 3, Princess Ilaria. The 4, Cape Saffron, 9 to 2. It's 11 to 2, the 1, Arashi. And also at 11 to 2 is the 5, Princess Kaira. And then looking at the rest, just the 2 more to touch on. Number 2, Mountain Eye, is at 15 to 2, and the outsider is the 8, Fair Proposal, at 20 to 1. Now, Fair Proposal is the 8, a stable companion to our topic as far as the reruns are concerned. It's the 7, Vamanos. Now, we go back to Vamanos' recent run, which was on the 4th of December when finishing second to Western Wishes, who loves the vaal. And that is, of course, in the Pandarum Silks. But we're looking at the Silks of Mr. P.J. Moore, Mr. Peter Moore, on the 7 of Vamanos on the 4th of December.
Very, very encouraging post-maiden run. Only finding Western Wishes to good on this occasion. She was staying on nicely here. It looked like she was going to get it right, going into the final 100. But you can see Western Wishes just quickens much better in the latter stages. Says, I didn't pick out these reruns, and I'm actually wondering why Clyde himself picked out Vermonos, because he enjoys following form lines.
Yes.
And if you have a look at this filly's form line, there have been 6 or 7 runners since then, and not one has run in the top 4. So that is of concern. However, she's a lovely, lovely filly, and you're going to see in time to come, she's really going to be much better than her current mark. She does step up to 1450 once again, and she's got the worst draw to contend with. I can most certainly see her winning, but I'm passing her by this time round. I think Lady Blunt back against her own sex over this distance is really... she ticks all the boxes. We've seen her in the past pull very, very hard and still get the job done. And over 1450, they tend to go a bit quicker. Herself, well, the top 3 last time out against the boys pulled well clear of the balance of the field. I think there was close to 3 lengths back to the well-fancied Prince of Kildare on that occasion. So I really like the look of her chances. Princess Kira, sure. Do you really want to back a filly like this who gets left at the start? I mean, you're gonna be very upset with yourself if you see her coming out languishing at the back of the field. But if she breaks on terms, I can see her winning. Number 3, Princess Ilaria, course and distance suited, lovely effort last time out in a strong race. I mean, that was an average 90. She plummets in class now. It's an average 84. Neat draw once again. And the improver, the filly I'm not ruling out, is number 8, Fair Proposal. I liked her chances last time out, and she seemed to be cruising. And then she found interference on that inside running rail, and she just didn't pick it up. She was eased out the race. She doesn't deserve to be 20-1. She can flash up, especially off a 79. So yeah, it's a tricky race. There's probably Lady Blunt as my top choice, but yeah, no confidence whatsoever.
Right, so we will be pulling for the 8 to come through. Fair Proposal to return to form, and of course there is a man who can pull that sort of victory off, and that is Ryan Munger in the saddle on this 3-year-old daughter of Legislate. That's your double suggested by Daryl, and it commences with that penultimate at 16:25. It's the Fillies and Mares 82 handicap over the 1450. Okay, so we're going to bring the curtain down on our preview for the Classic Track Vaal meeting, which is tomorrow, Thursday, and that is the 8th of Jan. First of all, let's touch on the one form update. Outstanding, and that goes back to the 3rd of Jan on the stand side of 17, where we saw the 13 King Bluetooth run. We finished 6th, and that was some way off Foster Nova, 14.40 lengths. That's over a distance of 1,400 meters. Now, we've got co-favorites, recent maiden winner number 2, Inspiration, and the 3, Never Neverland, both at 3-1. 5-1 is the 4, Western Wishes. The 7, that is Palace Revolt, is at 7-1. Number 12, Falcon Strike, is at 9-1. Also at 9-1 is the 11, Princess Lola. It is 10-1, and Better Bar those quoted runners. Now, we're going to be touching on one of the co-favorites, the 3, Never Neverland. And both Clyde and Daryl had a stand-side seat, or they had a front row seat to Never Neverland's efforts behind the KwaZulu-Natal Raider, and that was Arun Al Rashid, because it was on Summer Cup Day, one of the latter races on the afternoon. Never Neverland did drift out to 6-1, had been all the rage in the afternoon. But let's go back to that rerun, and let's hear Daryl's impressions after that run.
Sis, I think many people were disappointed on this occasion. However, it was over a mile on the stand side track, and possibly at this stage of his career, it was a bit too testing. Have a look at this form line. Flashing up towards the outside is Open Highway. He won next time out. Staying on into 3rd was Sky Pillar Rock. He won next time out. And then the Playboy Bomber, who ran 5th, came out and won over the weekend. So the form line is holding up extremely well. The Dam, if I'm not mistaken, Mark de Kock trained her, and she won twice over 1,200 and once over 1,400. I love the fact that he's coming back to 1,200. I would have been a bit more bullish if it was a 1,400. But I like the fact that he's coming back in trip at this stage of his career. He's got the gun draw, Storgate number 1 around the bend. I don't think he's going to be caught for speed in the early stages, so he should really get an ideal position. He's not going to have to work too hard to hold his position. And if you have a look at his penultimate start, he ran behind a very, very nice horse in Palace Prince. He was only having his 3rd start on that occasion. Palace Prince is now rated in the hundreds, if I'm not mistaken, 105 or 106. I'm really keen on number 3 over here, Never Neverland. I have found a little bit of a roughie, and he's probably going to scoot off to the front with the equipment change on number 9, Lava Fire. They've refitted the blinkers. And this son of Erupt, we've seen him spring a bit of a surprise early on in his career when he went start to finish. So with those blinkers being refitted and being super fit, I think the connections are going to attempt to catch the balance of the field on the back foot. But I do believe Never Neverland's got a lot more class and will be able to run him down. I'm going 3 from 9 in the last.
3 from 9 in the last. And before we let you go, give us one for the King's Plate on Saturday, Mr. Marie.
One for the entire day or for the
main race, because that looks to be the race for the ages.
Yeah, what a race! I can't wait. So I'm gonna say the Real Prince to run in the top 3. Yeah, pick a win over there. Very, very difficult, but I think we'll see him bounce back to his best.
Thank you so much. Thank you for taking time out, and thank you for your input, your thorough studying of this, as well as Clyde, of course, the selector of the reruns. And thanks very much to the production crew, Ricky and Joubert, for making this crossing to Darrell very possible. It's been a pleasure. Do have a wonderful Wednesday and a Thursday racing.